Welcome back to Mrs. Bisson's virtual classroom. Today we are going to be learning how to solve two-step equations. For this lesson you will need your sharpened pencil with an eraser, your calculator, your guided note sheet. You'll need to follow along and fill in the spaces as you are prompted in the video, and of course your headphones. If you are missing any of these supplies, please pause the video, retrieve the supplies, and resume the video when you get back. Now I know that you already know how to solve one-step equations. Judging by your test results, all of you did a phenomenal job on your test. So let's go ahead and review, just in case, how to solve a one-step equation. We were using the do and undo chart to find out how we are going to use our inverse operations here. We know that this is multiplication because we have a coefficient of 3 right next to our variable of x. So we know that x is being multiplied by 3 and that the inverse operation of multiplication is of course division. So we are going to multiply both sides by 3. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here, and I know that that cancels that out. The 3 cancels the 3, and we are going to work with 24 divided by 3. Go ahead and calculate that on your calculator. You should have x is equal to 8. Of course, we always need to make sure that we are checking our answer, so we're going to replace x, with 8 equals 24, and you should have 24 is equal to 24. Okay, so that is a simple multiplication one-step equation. Okay, so how do you solve a two-step equation? It's not bad at all. It's only one extra step, and I'm confident that with practice you will be masters at two-step equations just like you are with one-step equations. Okay, so what we're working with here is a new type of chart. We are going to look at what do I need to get rid of and how am I going to get rid of it. Okay, so look at this problem here. You'll notice that you actually have two operations that you're working with. Step one is still find the inverse operation for the first operation. So let's go ahead and circle our operations. I'm going to put an underline here because this is multiplication and we can't actually circle the invisible operation because we're 7th grade mathematicians, so we're not going to write 3 times x because that would be confusing. That would look like we had two variables. So you know just by looking at that that's multiplication. So we need to get x by itself. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and circle your variable. Okay, so we need to get x by itself. The first thing we're going to do is get rid of this 2 here. We know that this is plus 2. So I'm going to put plus 2 here. The inverse operation of addition is of course subtraction. So I'm going to put minus 2 here. We also know that x is being multiplied by 3. And the inverse operation of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So now I have two steps here that I need to take. I'm going to number this for myself just so I know which one to do first. You'll do the top one first and the bottom one second. So the first thing I'll need to do is subtract 2 from both sides. So subtract 2 from both sides. So we have 3x equals 24. That was very simple, wasn't it? So we just took 2 from both sides. This looks familiar. This is just a one-step equation now. We know we need to divide both sides by 3, which I'm going to do here. This cancels that out. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And x is equal to 8. Now you still need to make sure that you follow what is now step 4 and you check your answer. Always make sure that you copy down the original equation, not the simplified equation, nothing that you did, because just in case you made a mistake, you want to make sure that you're not following that mistake and carrying that down with you. So you're going to write down exactly what it says up there, and you know here that you got the answer of 8 for x. So 3, and I'm going to put 8 in a parentheses here. There you go. So that you can tell that that's being multiplied. Because of the order of operations, you'll go ahead and multiply 3 times 8 first, and then you'll add your 2. So 24 plus 2 is 26. you should get 26 equals 26, and you know that that's correct, so you're going to put a check mark there. Okay, so that was not too bad, was it? Let's look at another one. You have 6x minus 7 equals 83. So I'm going to put a line here because I know that this is a two-step equation. Okay, I'm circling my subtraction sign here because I want to make sure that I know that. I'm also circling my variable. I'm going to underline this because this is multiplication. I know that the first thing that is happening is a 7 is being subtracted from 6x. So the inverse operation of subtraction is addition. So plus 7 here. I'm going to add 7 to both sides there. But we still know that x is being multiplied by 6. And the inverse operation of multiplication is, of course, division. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do this to remind myself. You don't have to number these if you don't want to while you're practicing, but if it helps, please make sure that you do that. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides, plus 7, plus 7. So this cancels this 7, so a negative 7 plus a positive 7 is 0. So then I get 6x is equal to 90. Looks familiar, doesn't it? I know that you can do this, so go ahead and solve this problem. Pause the video, solve the problem, and come right back. You should have gotten an answer of x equals 15. Okay? And now all you'll do is go ahead and check your answer. And you should have 6 multiplied by 15. I'm using a parenthesis because that helps me know that those are being multiplied. Minus 7 equals 83. Because of the order of operations, you'll take 6 and multiply that by 15 first, and then subtract 7. You should get 83 equals 83. If you did not, please raise your hand and I will come assist you. Okay, this is our last problem that we're working with in this lesson. And you have some interesting things happening here. Do not be frightened by the fraction bar. In fact, you should welcome the fraction bar because you know that that means that you are going to be dividing something, right? So you know automatically, because you have this fraction bar under your variable, that that's a division problem right there, and you have that it's being divided by 12. The inverse operation of division is, of course, multiplication. So that actually helps you out. So you should be excited when you see the fraction bar. Okay, so here we have 6x. We know that x is being multiplied by 6 as well. And the inverse operation of multiplication is, of course, division. So the first thing that we're going to do here, and I'm going to number these for myself here, is multiply both sides by 12 to get rid of that denominator there. So I'm going to multiply this by 12 as well. Go ahead and do that on your calculator and come right back. Okay, so you know that this automatically gets rid of that 12 there. The denominator is now gone, which is excellent. I still need to get this variable by itself, but we know that we now got rid of the denominator. And now I have 6x is equal to 996. Also, don't be afraid of big numbers. You can use your calculator. There's nothing different about the way that you would solve this. The steps are the same, even with big numbers. You should be able to solve this on your own. I know you're masters at one-step equations. Go ahead and solve this and come back. You should have gotten the answer of x equals 166. Now you are going to still need to make sure that you do your check, and what you'll do is 6x, I'm going over here because I've limited space. Of course, you can use all the space that you want. Make sure that you do your problems up and down. So 6x over 12 equals 83, and then you will replace your x with 166. Okay. Now, because of order of operations, what you're going to do, you're going to multiply with 6 by 166 first, then divide by 12. You should have 83 is equal to 83. If you did not get that answer, please let me know. But as you can see, these are very simple. You're just adding one more step, and I'm very confident that you'll be just as successful with two-step equations as you were with one-step equations. So now let's go ahead and get started with some practice. Very, very good job, and I look forward to seeing some more positive test scores. Great job, guys.